Is it about the pursuit of perfection?
Look at this display by Floyd Mayweather.
Or the need to defy the odds?
Manny Pacquiao is a storm.
To protect the legacy at all costs.
Mayweather remains money.
Or to inspire a nation?
This is the brilliance of the Filipino slugger.
In the end,
there will only be one.
Rivalries create legends.
And legends create history.
Tonight, an event that will captivate the world.
And forever define an era. Mayweather.
Pacquiao. It's been a long time coming.
But that time is now.
And there's a look at Manny Pacquiao with the smile which has been there on his face all week long as he prepares to lead his entourage out of the dressing room and make this walk down the hallway toward the arena at the MGM Grand Garden for, will it be lucky or unlucky, the 13th time in his career. He's been remarkably relaxed, in a buoyant mood this week, almost as though he's at a party rather than at a fight. Extremely familiar with this environment, just as is Floyd Mayweather. Roy Jones, what does that mean?
Well, that means that he has nothing to be worried about. He's used to this. This is not new to him, so it has no added pressure on him. You understand me? He's very comfortable because he knows this feeling.
They've both been through big pay-per-view fights before, but neither has been in a fight with this kind of public exposure, and certainly the money has to affect anybody's attitude. Is there more pressure or less because they're making so much?
It's more pressure, of course, because you're making more, so more is expected. However, it is a fight, and your goal always is to win.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's champion versus champion. Now making his entrance to the ring, the fighting pride of the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao.
Immediately after the anthems were concluded, you may have heard the chant building in the arena, Manny, Manny, Manny. And I don't think, Al, that was because fans were aware and cognizant that Manny would walk first. It's a suggestion that, just as is the case in the general public, maybe this house is filled with more people rooting for Manny Pacquiao.
I think it's true from what we've seen so far this evening. That's true. Just as they did at the weigh-in, they took a selfie before they came out. Manny Pacquiao's been as relaxed, as you pointed out, and as engaging leading into this fight as we've ever seen him, and certainly we've seen him that way before. This crowd will probably be a pro-Manny Pacquiao crowd.
And surely the selfies are a defining signature of the event. Yeah. It's hard to imagine that there are many fans, if any, in this arena who will not be sending out pictures via Twitter and Instagram tonight saying, look at me, I was here, I got this ticket. And I have to say this, it's too personal a note, but I can't resist it. I've been in broadcasting for 40 years, and I say this many times, I've never seen a more comfortable public figure than this man. I've never seen anyone who loves the spotlight, loves the crowd, and loves these responsibilities the way Manny Pacquiao does, and he's showing it with his face.
When you suddenly see him do a walk-in like this, you know what it reminds me of? When Evander Holyfield was singing on the way in to fight Tyson, and you felt an exuberance from him. Here he is.
Up the steps and into the ring. He's a long way from living on the streets of Manila at age 14, homeless, and looking for something that would take him forward in life. He joined an amateur boxing team in Manila. The rest is history. And now, from the streets of Grand Rapids, Michigan, to a destiny he may not have contemplated or dreamed of for a long time in his life, but which clearly he has been architecting carefully like an engineer for the past several years. The whole the money team thing is no mirage. This business enterprise for Floyd Mayweather was built, as he said, on his desire to become the first 9-figure prize fighter, and he's done it.
It has to do with his acumen as a marketer and, as you said, as a businessman. And you talked about the social media age. No one has ever worked it like Floyd Mayweather with over 4 million Twitter followers.
Roy Jones, by and large, are other fighters jealous of the money that Mayweather makes, or do they celebrate it?
A lot of fighters are jealous, but most fighters celebrate him because this is a big thing for boxing. He is the example that now someone can go out and accomplish such a feat. So I think all fighters should celebrate his knowledge of what he did.
And now, here is boxing's undisputed #1 attraction, the undefeated welterweight and super welterweight champion of the world, Floyd Mani Mayweather.
And we mentioned that Pacquiao is fighting in this arena for the 13th time. Mayweather now enters the MGM Grand Garden Arena for the 15th time in his career. And Al Bernstein, each of his last 12 fights have taken place here. No matter how many times Pacquiao has fought here, Mayweather believes this is his own turf.
He has scrupulously avoided going anywhere else. This fight could have landed somewhere else. There was bidding wars going on for it back east in Dallas, Texas. But Floyd Mayweather, who had the whip hand in his promotion, wanted it here at the MGM Grand.
In Las Vegas, which is now his hometown, and what could be a more fitting site for the headquarters of the Money team. The tape for this welterweight championship fight. The weight limit at yesterday's weigh-in was 147 pounds. Pacquiao weighed in at 145, Mayweather at 146. You see the age difference, which is really about 22 months. Mayweather, the older of the two. Also, he has had less ring wear and tear than has Manny Pacquiao. A 2.5-inch height advantage for Mayweather could be extremely significant in the fight. And Floyd Mayweather did not get on our unofficial scale to let us know what he weighs tonight, but Manny Pacquiao, surprisingly, based on his past pattern, has managed to rehydrate up 7 pounds from 145 to 152. Most of us expected that Pacquiao would be under 150 pounds tonight. And corresponding to the height advantage for Mayweather, you see his reach advantage, 4 inches. Al Bernstein, the rules.
A reminder of the rules to everyone. There is no standing 8 count. No 3 knockdown rule, though a lot of people don't think that would play in this fight anyway. Only the referee can stop the fight. Fighter can't be saved by the bell in any round. If there's a clash of heads that would stop the fight, it would be a no decision before then. After 4, they would go to the scorecards.
We waited a long time for this. Let's go into the ring for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to tonight's epicenter of the sports world, the Grand Garden Arena here at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Mayweather Promotions and Top Rank Incorporated in association with Showtime Pay-Per-View and HBO Pay-Per-View, sponsored by Tecate, Con Carácter, Mexico, Live It to Believe It, and the Weinstein Company, and the new movie Southpaw, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, in theaters everywhere, July 24th.
This contest is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman Francisco V. Aguilar. Executive Director Bob Bennett. The World Boxing Organization Supervisor is its President Francisco Paco Barcarcel, and the World Boxing Association Supervisor is Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. The WBC Supervisor is President Mauricio Suleiman. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring will be Bert Clements, Glenn Feldman, and Dave Moretti, and the man in charge of the action inside the ring, World Championship veteran referee Kenny Bayless. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, with his trainer Freddie Roach and wearing yellow and red, official weight 145 pounds. His fighting credentials of 57 victories, including 38 knockouts, along with 13 international and world championship titles in a record 8 different weight divisions, guarantees his place in the Hall of Fame. He's recognized and known the world over as the people's champion from Sarangani province, the fighting pride of the Philippines, the reigning, defending, two-time WBO welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pac-Man
And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, really needing no introduction the world over, and truly representing some of the finest boxing skills our sport has ever seen. Wearing black trunks with gold trim, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, he weighed in at a ready 146 pounds. A veteran of 24 world title bouts, he is undefeated in his 18-year campaign with a record of 47 wins, no losses, 26 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the pound-for-pound great and the pay-per-view king, boxing's future Hall of Famer, the sensational 11-time world champion in 5 weight divisions. Please welcome the reigning, the defending, and the undefeated WBC and WBA welterweight and super welterweight champion of the world, introducing Floyd Mani Mayweather. And a referee in charge now to give instructions, Kenny Bayless.
Okay, gentlemen, Floyd, Manny, this is a fight that the world has been waiting for. Both of you are world champions. We went over the rules in the dressing room. I want you to keep this fight clean at all times, show good sportsmanship, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up, God bless.
It is both the curse and the blessing of boxing that its biggest events are maddeningly scarce. Too few, too far between. For years, boxing fans were bedeviled by the notion that this fight might never take place. And now, here they are. Floyd Mayweather, #1 pound for pound, 47 wins, no losses. Manny Pacquiao, the pride of the Philippines, the knockout sensation of the first 10 years of this decade, #2 pound for pound, looking to leapfrog tonight.
This feels like the atmosphere of those great fights in the 80s.
Crowd is ready. A big roar greets the opening bell. Mayweather with early jabs, just missed the right hand.
Freddie Roach told us he thinks Mayweather's going to come out quick, go after Pacquiao. We'll see if that's the case.
Much like he did in the Canelo Alvarez fight, he came up and immediately gave away no ground.
Well, that's a perfect comparison, Roy Jones. A lot of people thought that Alvarez would aggressively attack Mayweather and put him on the defensive. And in the first 3 rounds of that fight, Mayweather walked Alvarez down, backed him up, and showed him who was boss. And let's see if he can do it to Pacquiao.
And it's the same thing he's starting to do already with that jab. Pacquiao
bouncing, looking for an angle at which he can land the shot. So far, they're fighting right down the middle, and there Mayweather has an advantage because of his length and his height.
Precisely. Pacquiao wanted to attack from angles in this fight, and Freddie Roach told us he was going to try to attack and then get out quickly. The right hand of Mayweather is a factor early in this fight.
Hard, straight right hand by Mayweather landed on Pacquiao's chin, the early best punch in the first minute 15 seconds of the fight.
And this is exactly the pace that Floyd wants to fight. He got Pacquiao right at the distance that he wants Pacquiao at. And as long as he can use his jab and keep Pacquiao there, this becomes an easy fight for Floyd.
Well, as Al Bernstein told you before the fight, Manny Pacquiao can thrive, can be at his best if he can throw 65 or 70 punches per round. He's nowhere near that pace right now. Mayweather is managing to slow him down, both with his offense and with his defensive skills.
Yeah, and that straight right hand that he hit Pacquiao with definitely slowed Pacquiao down some. Now it has Pacquiao a little bit reluctant about attacking as quickly.
Mayweather makes volume punches into non-volume punches.
That goes to the notion of people saying he can't punch. I tried to tell him before that he can punch, and guys don't rush in because they don't want to be hit with Mayweather's power.
Pacquiao mostly staying out of range so far. Mayweather doesn't care. He just keeps firing his punches into the zone where Pacquiao might come and making clear that he's in command.
And remember, Manny Pacquiao, or in early rounds, not always been a quick starter.
Hard right hand again by Mayweather. He's landed 2 clean right hand shots in the first round.
2 big right hand shots.
And I think your analogy to the Canelo Alvarez fight is right on point, Roy Jones, because it looks like Floyd has brought the same mentality into the ring.
He came to fight tonight. He's not often coming to fight an offensive fight, but he uses it when it's necessary. And tonight he knew it was necessary, so now he's doing it.
Now Pacquiao momentarily got Mayweather into a corner, tried to land a right hook. Mayweather dipped and came up and got away from it. That was Pacquiao's best chance, and he'll look for another opportunity like that when round 2 begins. Mike Tyson, who fought in this arena and has been quite vocal about his opinions regarding this fight in the last several days. And now let's go to Mayweather's corner.
Your right hand, all you gotta do, you can time him. That's all that what you call it did to him. It's timing. Okay?
You can't help but notice that already in Manny Pacquiao's corner, he looks a little bit crestfallen, a little bit disappointed. Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao were open in saying we need a fast pace, we need to throw a lot of punches. He only got off 29 punches in round 1 and landed only 3. Mayweather 8 of 36, and the 2 big right hands. That was a Mayweather round. Pacquiao virtually diving at him there.
And at the end of that round, a seminal moment, when Pacquiao got inside and tried to throw punches, Mayweather reached out and held him, took Kenny Bayless a long time to get there. Bayless was criticized during the Marcos Maidana fight for allowing Mayweather to hold.
Now Pacquiao's moving his feet a little more and getting some better chances. He landed a left hand to the chest of Mayweather. Mayweather fired the right hand back. Pro-Pacquiao crowd wants Kenny Bayless to break them as soon as there's contact and a hold on the inside.
We saw Pacquiao there feint with the jab. One of the things Maidana did very well against Mayweather is jab him, double jab him to get him against the rope. Pacquiao's not doing that.
Well, Floyd is offsetting that with the straight jab that he's using. Because he's throwing his jab, Pacquiao doesn't have time to jab. Pacquiao has to deal with Floyd's jab first. That's making him stay at home and not allowing him to attack with his own jab.
Well, but he could start at least with it. He's not even trying to throw that punch.
Pacquiao managing to make Floyd Mayweather miss his right hand here in the first minute and a half of the second round.
Double jab, he goes against the ropes.
And now Pacquiao starting to crank up a little offense as Mayweather allowed his back to touch the ropes, something we saw so frequently in his first fight with Marcos Maidana last year.
And it doesn't say that Floyd Mayweather can't fight off the ropes. He does do it well.
He's just a smart guy, you know. He knows who to allow himself to be against against ropes against and who not to allow himself to be against ropes against.
Mayweather lands another straight right hand, backing Pacquiao up. The jab is mostly a rangefinder at this point, although he's popping it pretty resolutely. The right hand has been the Mayweather weapon, so far controlling the first couple of rounds.
And that's the weapon against a southpaw anyway. Pacquiao, because he's going straight down the pipe with the double jab, is not working because Floyd is just taking 2 steps back, and because he's the taller fighter, he's out of range.
And Mayweather lands 50% of his power punches, which means mostly those right hands.
Hard left hand by Pacquiao. Best punch of the fight so far. Mayweather with a little grin on his face.
Mayweather is getting off those ropes very quickly, and that is a good sign for him.
Very smart. He's keeping the fight in the center of the ring.
A more aggressive, more active Manny Pacquiao in round 2. Little grin at the end of the round. Mayweather unable to land his hard right hand the way he did in the first round, but still looked to be the winner of the round. There's Mark Wahlberg at ringside, as we mentioned, a wild card regular in Hollywood, good friend of Manny Pacquiao's. And there's P. Diddy, who shared the tease segment with Mark Wahlberg. And now let's go to Pacquiao's corner.
Sinusukat na lang niya. Pero pag pinasok ko siya, hindi siya nakakasuntok. Binabantay ka lang niya pag nag-straight ka, counterin ka niya eh. Ingat ka nga.
When you get near the ropes, okay, you go that pain a little bit more, okay? A little more footwork, okay? Don't walk into it. A little more footwork, then go. In combination, okay? Footwork, combination, okay?
CompuBox numbers in round 2. Mayweather was 11 of 32. Pacquiao managed to up his punch count from 29 in the first round to 44 in the second round, but landed only 6 punches. He's landing well under 20%. Mayweather's over 30% in that round. Second round most likely would have gone to Floyd Mayweather as well.
Opponents land 19% against Mayweather, and Pacquiao's landing even less than that.
Lead right hand for Mayweather. He uses it as a lead or as a counter.
Mayweather used Zab Judah, a former champion, a former opponent of his, to spar with them. There's the problem for Pacquiao. He's lunging in, and he's not staying on balance.
Where he's going down, he's going in straight down the pipe. It's almost impossible to hit Floyd going straight down the pipe. He should be attacking off of his right side instead of going toward the left side or straight down the pipe. Because Floyd going to land punches like that as long as he stays on the right side.
Right hand below the belt. Kenny Bayless says keep him up. Pacquiao gives Mayweather a look as if to say, hey, you really think you need to foul me? You're winning the fight anyway. Body shots by Pacquiao. He's not a prolific body puncher, but that's one way to change the equation based on what we saw in the first couple of rounds.
Now, the other question is, at what point, Floyd Mayweather's using it as a very good defensive tool, but he holds every time Pacquiao gets in there. Will he get warned for that?
Big swing with the left hand by Pacquiao. Still having trouble finding the target. Now he's got Mayweather in the corner. And Mayweather grabs him and holds him. And Kenny Bayless breaks him up, but Mayweather bought a couple of seconds there.
And Manny Pacquiao's helping Mayweather by lunging in and getting too close to him and giving him a chance to hold.
He has no other choice because Floyd keeps throwing that straight right lead so much from the outside that he has to deal with that before he can come in, like right there.
Yeah, but I'm saying when he's on the ropes, he doesn't want to smother his punches when Mayweather is there.
Floyd Mayweather's timing with the right hand is impeccable.
Yes, it is.
And it stops opponents in their tracks. Even though he's not a big hitter, he's amazingly accurate. Nobody likes getting hit on the nose.
And he's a bigger hitter than people want to give him credit for.
More of what the crowd thinks is holding by Mayweather. Kenny Bayless is a veteran of refereeing fights for both these guys. He's had 6 Mayweather fights and 7 Pacquiao fights prior to tonight.
Mayweather's been able to keep this fight in the center of the ring for the most part, and clearly that works to his benefit.
Pacquiao seems befuddled right now, like he doesn't really know what he wants to do. And that's not a good sign for him.
Combinations which have worked so well for Manny Pacquiao against virtually every other opponent are swinging at air against Floyd Mayweather here tonight.
You don't call him the best defensive fighter ever for no reason.
By Pacquiao as Mayweather was trying to get away. Hard right hand by Mayweather. Retaliation for the shot that Pacquiao landed.
Look, you're doing the right thing. Now you're hitting with the right hand. Come back with your
Floyd Mayweather can attack everywhere, and he can attack to the body as well. There he goes with the right hand. Now the question is, was it low? Not really. I don't know if that was the one he complained about, but it was a nice right hand that he landed against Manny Pacquiao. And defensively, he is a wizard, Floyd Mayweather. People compare him to Pernell Whitaker, and why not? Now there's the left hand missing. Every time we showed you in the keys to victory, when a left hand is thrown, he will wheel to the right against the southpaw, and he's able to push Pacquiao away also. Finally, the right hook, though, Roy, from Pacquiao, that's a punch he's got to get out of mothballs.
And that's when he talked about counting the right hand lead with, and he finally got it off once.
Arrow shots through round 3. Mayweather 20 out of 41, 49%. Pretty much a normal day at the office for Floyd in that regard. Pacquiao 11 out of 47, only 23% of his power punches so far. And Pacquiao is not a guy who wins fights with his jab. He has to win with power shots. So we're into round 4 of a scheduled 12. Our unofficial ringside scorers, 2 of them, are Steve Farhood of Showtime and Harold Letterman of HBO. Let's take a look at what Harold has so far.
Up is it. I've got 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Floyd Mayweather. Jim, I gave the second round to Manny Pacquiao. I thought he got inside and landed a couple of nice, sweet left hands. So I thought he won that round. Anyway, here's my pal, Steve Farhood.
Harold, I've given all 3 rounds to Mayweather. A couple of points. Pacquiao's the aggressor, but not the effective aggressor thus far. And also for the fans who might be scoring at home, you have to score with your eyes, not your ears. At a big fight like this, fans react to every punch, whether it lands or not. Judge with your eyes, not your ears.
This round, though, is starting off very well for Pacquiao. Mayweather's walking himself to the corner, and Pacquiao is throwing a lot of punches. Not all of them landing, but this is what he wants.
But what Mayweather's doing is trying to get Pacquiao comfortable at attacking so that he can time the attack and catch him with a good counter on the way in.
Pacquiao seems to be developing a better understanding, though, of the need to develop angles and not come straight down the middle, although that left hand landed for Pacquiao and maybe hurt Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather covering up and protecting. Pacquiao landed a left-hand shot.
And he better not punch himself out because that's what Floyd is waiting for.
But look what he did. He took a step back. But I think that left hand did stun Mayweather for a moment. At least Pacquiao looks like he might get on the board here with a round, that's for sure.
Tremendous lift for Pacquiao. And now the Pacquiao-oriented crowd is going wild. Hard right hand by Pacquiao. He landed his right hook, and that has to happen for him.
But he's still not careful enough for Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is still very dangerous right here and still looking for the kill. See that? That is a kill right hand counter that Floyd is throwing right there.
Which Pacquiao managed to slip, but it was a dangerous moment for him for sure.
This is a round, though, that is giving Manny Pacquiao confidence in his fight. There's no question about that.
I don't like the confidence that he's giving him because that confidence is what will get him knocked out if he's not
careful. There's a straight right hand that lands, and Pacquiao gets in another left.
Good body shot by Pacquiao.
Throughout Floyd Mayweather's career, you can count on the fingers of 2 hands the number of really hard, on-the-money shots that have been landed against him. But Manny Pacquiao got in the left hand. That makes the list.
Well, we all wanted excitement in this fight, and we got some in that round. Pacquiao throwing the counter left hand that pushed Mayweather back. And Mayweather covers up, and what Pacquiao did here was throw a lot of punches, landing to the body, and then taking a step back after this sequence so that he didn't punch himself out and so that he wasn't countered by Floyd Mayweather. Very important move right there, and we'll take another look at it, Roy.
Yeah, it was a very smart move. He countered the jab with a straight left lead, knocked Floyd back a little bit. We don't know if he was off balance or hurt, and Pacquiao did try to mount an attack but he was strictly going to the head at first, which wasn't landing. Then he dropped down to the body, at which time he realized that if he kept it up, he's going to punch himself out or leave himself open for a punch. There's the counter right over the left hand. Over the left jab. He landed a beautiful straight left lead. Best one of the fight for him.
Our shots in round 4. Mayweather was 4 of 9. Pacquiao 12 of 42, 29%. That's a higher percentage than he's experienced in the 3 preceding rounds, and it was a tremendous lift to land that left-hand shot.
But Jim, he's still fighting on the outside right here, and with Floyd being the taller man with the better straight punches, you can't give him this kind of room. He's going to kill you.
Pacquiao just missed with a right hook. Might have done some damage. Floyd Sr. told Floyd Mayweather in the corner between rounds that he feels like his son is fighting scared, wants him to be more aggressive. I certainly haven't seen anything that would indicate that Mayweather is, quote, fighting scared. I'm looking at the same Floyd Mayweather I'm accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, I thought the first 2 rounds he was tactically excellent, and in the last round, Manny Pacquiao was able to get some things done.
He's fighting pretty smart is what he's doing, and I think his dad just wants to see a little bit more aggression, because he knows with a little more aggression, Floyd probably will land a few more bigger shots.
But one of the questions coming into the fight was, which of his power punches might Pacquiao be able to get going at some point? And there's the Mayweather right hand, blocking Pacquiao twice, knocking him back into the corner. They chuckle, but at the moment, Mayweather has seized command again.
Now there's the Pacquiao jab. See, when he doubles with it, when he feints with it, he can make some things happen in this fight. Marcus Maidana, who is rudimentary compared to Pacquiao, was able to do that.
Yeah, but the difference is, Marcus Maidana's jab going to his right, to his left, he was left-handed. So his jab going to his left. Pacquiao's jab going to his right. He's constantly either jab coming straight ahead or to his left, to his left, and it's not doing no good.
Really interesting to watch what Floyd Mayweather's doing tactically in the fight. So frequently in the past we've seen him jab very effectively to the body. Here he is choosing to throw right hands to the body because Roy Jones, he figured out that he might be countered if he tries to attack the body with the jab.
No, anybody that boxes knows that the jab to the body is not the punch for a southpaw. The straight right hand is equivalent to the jab to the body against a southpaw. Against another orthodox fighter, the left hand to the body, left jab to the body is a great punch, but not against the southpaw.
Pacquiao, of course, is the southpaw. Mayweather is the conventional fighter. We haven't seen their front feet engaging with each other. Both are so skilled and experienced that may not happen to the degree that it happens in most other southpaw versus conventional fighter fights.
In this round, Pacquiao has been very inactive, only throwing 15 punches right now, and that's not enough.
I think that has to do with Floyd Mayweather's counter right hand.
It does too, but the different thing that you really see is that Floyd Mayweather's head is moving a lot more than Manny Pacquiao's head is.
Well, after developing so much momentum in round 4, Pacquiao backed off a little bit in round 5. There's his wife, Jinky Pacquiao, and the rest of the Pacquiao family seated there at ringside. Seven-time Trader of the Year, Freddie Roach.
Yung mga putok natin, yung mga side to side mo, yung iikot ko sa kanan. Kasi siya, naghahanap siya ng chimpo. Eh, tayo, kung kuha mo na yung sukakin yan. Takot na yan sa sayo.
Floyd Mayweather was able really to control that last round, landing the right hand, landing combinations, and in fact pushing Pacquiao back, which of course is part of what his father told him before that round started. He wanted a little bit more aggression from him, and Kenny Bayless warning Mayweather about pushing, I guess, pushing him down.
Average per round via CompuBox through 5. Mayweather 10 out of 32, Pacquiao 5 out of 35. If they continue to fight at a 30 to 35 punch per round pace, that dramatically favors Floyd Mayweather.
No question. And you know, there's a misnomer that Mayweather somehow has some issues with lefties. In fact, coming into this fight, he has thrown and landed at exactly the same percentage against lefties as righties.
Pacquiao wowing the crowd with some roundhouse shots, but Mayweather blocking them pretty effectively. There's a straight left hand right on the button for Manny Pacquiao. Now this reminds me that both Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya said to me, the punch that Pacquiao will score with is the straight left hand because it mimics a jab from a conventional fighter, and Floyd Mayweather customarily doesn't even try to block the jab.
And what Pacquiao doing to negate that is he's throwing a super powerful right hand at Manny every time to make Manny keep his left hand at home for defense.
Kenny Bayless talking to both the fighters and talking sternly to Mayweather there. May have been about to hold it.
Steve Farhood has it 4 rounds to 1. Harold Letterman has it 3 rounds to 2. Both for Floyd Mayweather. Good body shot by Pacquiao. Again, not a prolific body puncher, but clearly trying to mix it in as part of his attack here.
Yeah, Floyd taking some really good chances. He's just trying to right uppercut off of Manny's straight left lead, and that's a big chance.
CompuBox numbers of punches landed round by round. Mayweather getting the better of Pacquiao in most of the rounds so far, and with a 26-punch edge in landed shots to this moment. Another left hand lands for Pacquiao.
He's gotten them in.
This is a reminder of the early rounds of the Oscar De La Hoya fight, when De La Hoya was able to pin Mayweather against the ropes from time to time and throw flurries like that brought the crowd out of their seats and gave him those rounds. He was leading in the fight midway through against Mayweather.
Yeah, and the thing about this, and there's some nice countering by Floyd Mayweather. By him doing that, he could give a round away.
He's very smart. He makes you throw 4 or 5 punches while he steady pot shots you one at a time. Then he comes back with a straight right hand to the body because he knows that Pacquiao is expending a lot of energy throwing those punches trying to get in.
Mayweather was momentarily open against the ropes, and Pacquiao just missed with a big left hand upstairs that would have done damage if he could have found the target. Now Mayweather tactically using the jab to stop Pacquiao in his tracks and disrupt his timing.
This is where Roach said Pacquiao would attack from angles, but he hasn't.
He should have kept Mayweather. Looked like Mayweather's eye may be swelling a little bit, but he should have kept Mayweather in the corner if he wanted to have a chance, because he can't beat Mayweather out here in the center of the ring.
But because of the 2 flurries against the ropes, this won't be an easy round to score, and some judges might give it to Pacquiao.
You gotta put it on him because I'm telling you, man, believe me, I'm telling you right now, they're gonna take this fight from you. I don't know what's wrong with you, man. Come on. Put it on line, Tom. We do put it. Let's go. Put it on line. Let's go. You want, man, I get me, you can't throw no left hook with no, you ain't doing hook yet, man. You can't throw a left hook with a right hand. These are what you got to throw, man. You got to throw right up and everything.
Jay-Z and Beyonce at ringside. Royalty from all walks of life. CompuBox numbers in round 6. Jabs, Mayweather 13 out of 25, Pacquiao 1 of 14. But power shots, Mayweather 8 of 13, Pacquiao 13 of 38. Floyd Mayweather Sr. extremely unhappy in the corner with his son. Roy Jones, what do you think he was so upset about?
Well, I think what he wants to see is total domination by Floyd, because he don't want to be close, because he feels like if it's a close fight, Manny Pacquiao, because of the fan support and all, may get the decision. So he wants his son to go in and get rid of Pacquiao so he leaves no doubt.
So he's worried the judges might score the crowd noise.
Of course, he wants to get him out of there. He doesn't want to take no chances on a decision.
Mayweather coming forward, and for the most part, he's not a fighter that likes to come forward, and we'll see how that impacts. But then again, Manny Pacquiao's not a brilliant counterpuncher.
And let's see what the scores are halfway through from Steve Farhood and Harold Letterman.
Jim, I think Pacquiao's moments in this fight have been singular, but they've been very big moments. That last round, when he has Floyd against the ropes, it's very hard for the judges not to give him the rounds. His punches are very flashy, and they come in bunches. So I did give Manny the last round. Harold?
Okay, Steve, I've got it 57-57, 3 rounds apiece. I thought rounds 4 and 6 that Manny Pacquiao scored those really good flurries. He won those 2 rounds. I got it all even.
We waited 6 years. Can we already be more than halfway through?
It's hard to, yeah.
Feels like the fight has lasted 10 minutes so far.
Well, we're already halfway through, but guess what? We're more than halfway satisfied of the action that we're getting. We're getting exactly what we wanted to get. So there's no sense in us complaining about how quick it's seeming. We are getting exactly what we asked for.
Mayweather having a very good round here, getting off, being aggressive, and landing some very nice right hands.
And already only 1 minute remaining in the round, and every time Manny Pacquiao has a round with big flurries that might catch the eyes of the judges, Floyd Mayweather comes back and muffles him in the next round.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jim, and it's been that way throughout this fight.
Throwing jab is causing a lot of problems right now. Manny can't let him get that jab going because that'll be a real problem for him in the long run.
Yeah, and Mayweather not known really, you know, he doesn't throw that many jabs. He doesn't jab as much as people think.
Hard left hand lands again for Pacquiao. Backs Mayweather up. Brings a roar from the crowd, too. Pacquiao hasn't had one of those flurries in this round. He did have that one left hand shot.
And also, Pacquiao is getting back to being a little off balance when he throws the left hand and lunging in.
I think one thing that may be throwing Floyd off is that Pacquiao is throwing the left hand as a lead, not bothering to use that double jab and stutter step that we've so frequently seen in the past to set it up. A couple of world-class athletes appreciating the action there. Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf. Let's go to Pacquiao's corner.
Sit up siya sa imo ha. Counter siya ano, ma-stack makadiyot mga 5 seconds. So kailangan na to ang imong footwork ha.
Now, you're hurting this guy. You get him near the ropes. You got to tackle a little bit more footwork when you're going near the ropes, okay? All right.
Freddie Rhodes calling for the Pacquiao jab. And there are times when he gets that punch in this fight when he gets it off. And there's an example of one. And what does it do? It at least gives him the chance to throw the left. Now, that pushed Mayweather back so far that he didn't get a chance to throw the left hand.
Judges see activity. Judges don't always see which punches land and which punches don't, just as we don't always see which punches land and which punches don't. But it's easy to see who's throwing. That's why activity was so important for Pacquiao coming in. He has not been able to crank up the volume the way he wanted. That's because of Floyd Mayweather's defense and his brilliant counterpunching.
And that brilliant jab, Jim. That long jab is making Pacquiao stay outside like that right there. And because of that, Pacquiao's not as busy as he would normally be because he's too preoccupied with that jab.
Well, Pacquiao landed a jab. He landed a left hand a moment ago. Every time Manny lands one, the crowd roars in appreciation.
And for the first time, Manny Pacquiao is trying to commit to that right hook a little bit more as well.
Yeah, he went for the gusto on that one then.
Well, he should step to the right and get outside of Mayweather's front foot if he wants to land that hook.
That's exactly what he should do, like he just did against Rose there, and he landed a really good body shot when he went to the outside. But now he's just standing still in front of Floyd again, which you cannot do.
Power shots so far in the fight. They've almost landed an equal number of power punches. Pacquiao throwing many more, and again, judges see activity. They don't always see which punches land.
And that does demonstrate that the jab, if there is a difference in this fight so far from Mayweather, if he would be ahead on the scorecards, it would be because of the jab.
Hard right hand by Mayweather. His best counter right in a couple of rounds. Now Pacquiao's got him into the corner. Can't do anything with it. Mayweather gets away.
Mayweather doing a good job of using that left hook, that check hook to spin out those corners anytime his back gets too close. Good hook right there.
Great left hook by Mayweather. Goes to the left hook again. A lot of conventional fighters find it very difficult to land a hook against a southpaw, but not Floyd Mayweather. He can find the target.
Early in his career, Mayweather used that punch even more, and when he gets back to it, it makes him more effective even.
See, Manny can't attack coming straight forward like that. Anytime he attacks Floyd straight forward like that, he's either going to come up short or get caught with a right hand.
He must create angles, and he isn't always doing so. Is that a failure of concentration, Roy?
Well, it's a failure of concentration and getting away from your game plan, I think. Because I know he has a game plan, and his game plan cannot be to go straight down the pipe like this right there.
Mayweather isn't landing big shots, just touching Pacquiao, but he's the one who's making contact with his gloves here in round number 8.
He's the busier fight. He's forcing Manny to be more desperate, which will make him get hit in the long run.
Well, in the last round, while it was a round that Floyd Mayweather did well in, there he throws a jab. This is where Pacquiao was able to counter with the left hand over the jab. But unfortunately for him, and even doubles with the punch, they were few and far between. Now, Mayweather doing the exact same thing, countering over the jab, but with his right hand, because, of course, he's a right-hander. But by and large, a round in which Floyd Mayweather really controlled the action.
You ain't doing a hook yet. Hit the guy with right hand and hook, man.
And still Floyd Sr. isn't terribly happy.
Back him up.
Tough to please, apparently. He said he didn't throw a hook. I thought he threw a couple nice ones the last round.
Landed a couple nice hooks that round.
That's it.
Last 2 rounds, Mayweather with a 32-11 edge in total connected punches. Manny threw a total of 57 punches in the last 2 rounds. Just not enough activity. He's got to get his hands going and throw more punches down the stretch of the fight.
In this fight, Manny Pacquiao has only thrown one more punch as this number continues to mount than Floyd Mayweather. That's going to be very problematic whether he can win at that rate.
Yeah, you don't beat Floyd Mayweather by keeping up with his punch output, because if he can slow you down to his pace, there's no way in the world you're going to beat him. I don't care how good you think you are.
You have to double his pace.
Yes,
you have to fight twice as fast.
Right.
You have to throw 60 punches when he's throwing 30. That's what Pacquiao knew he had to do. It's what he hasn't been able to do for most of the fight. Let's take a look at our unofficial scores once again. Harold Letterman, 77-75 in favor of Mayweather after Mayweather won those last 2 rounds. Steve Farhood, 78-74 for Mayweather after Mayweather won those last 2 rounds. So 9 rounds have taken place. We're in the middle of the 9th round now. At what point, Roy Jones, would Manny Pacquiao consider selling out to go for the knockout?
After this next round, he might have to start considering it, but the thing is, all of that plays in Floyd's favor. So because he's so lackluster on his punch output, he's giving Floyd everything Floyd wants. If it comes down to the last 3 rounds and he's behind, then Floyd's just going to wait for him to come in and try to count him.
And there you see the CompuBox numbers of total punches thrown. And anytime the total punches thrown are equal, that's a win for Mayweather, because he's more accurate and he is limiting Pacquiao's offense.
Fights like a businessman. He throws exactly the number of punches necessary, and it's always right around 500.
A smart businessman.
Yeah, exactly.
In Manny Pacquiao's 3rd fight against Juan Manuel Marquez, not the 4th fight in which he was knocked out dramatically, but the 3rd fight, he was painted throughout the fight by Juan Manuel Marquez's counter right hands. Most of the writers at ringside felt that Marquez had won the fight. But down the stretch, Pacquiao was throwing more punches, round after round. That's what the judges saw, and he wound up getting the decision in the fight. It was a blueprint for what he needed to do tonight. But Floyd Mayweather is a much better defender than Juan Manuel Marquez, and it's just not that easy for Pacquiao to do.
And he moves better than Juan Manuel Marquez, but the similarity is that, like you pointed out, that counter right hand. He wants
hard left hand for Pacquiao. Best punch in a couple rounds. Mayweather's backing off. Pacquiao's got him in a corner. Here's his chance. Less than 10 seconds to go in the round. He had a moment, but it came too late in round number 9.
Just like that. But back him up, boy. Put this shit on out. Put this shit on out, boy. This is what you gotta do, man, right now. I'm telling you. Huh? Be careful with the elbow. That's what Rose said. Be careful with the elbow, okay? Here we go. Okay, what you gotta do right now. You got to bag him up, man. Punch. He put a second in his head.
Good, that's good. That's good right there.
He was with a right hand and left hook. I'm going to show you that it's going to go down. Keep this down for him back in that motherfucker. Let's back it up and let's see something.
Okay, second up, so let's go, man.
Norm Nixon and Denzel Washington are seated in the second or third row. And incidentally, the man behind Norm Nixon, that's Richard Schaefer, who has been somewhat in exile for the last couple of years after having been Oscar De La Hoya's partner at Golden Boy Promotions. Everybody expects that Richard Schaefer is going to reemerge in the boxing world in the not too distant future.
Manny Pacquiao is landing at 18% in this fight. Mayweather opponents land at 19%, and Pacquiao in the past in his career has landed at 34%. So everything about this fight is tipping to Mayweather in many respects.
Hard left hand to the body by Pacquiao. Gets in a little left hand upstairs. Mayweather firing back with the jab. Let's go to our unofficial scores and see how they have the fight scored. Steve Farwood first.
Jim, I have Mayweather comfortably ahead. I think he's won most of the rounds. That's why what you just saw. I don't remember a right-hander having the effective jab that he's had against a southpaw. That just doesn't happen that often. But as fast as Manny is with his feet and hands, Mayweather's quickness and timing even faster, Harold.
Okay, Steve, I got an 87-84, 6 rounds to 3, Floyd Mayweather. I just think he stole the last 3 rounds. He won them all with that nice left jab, that straight right hand. Manny's just walking into it, and Floyd nails him with a right hand. 6-3, Mayweather.
Roy Jones, both of our scorers taking note of Mayweather's effectiveness with the jab. How much of that is because of Manny Pacquiao's natural tendency to square his shoulders up when he comes into attack?
All of it is because he knows how Manny's going to square up when he attacks. Everybody knows that now. So because of it, he uses his jab. He's using his jab to keep him at bay and make it dangerous for him to attack. He makes him have to deal with that jab before he can come in. Therefore, he can't have a real effective attack because he has to deal with the jab first. And the straight right lead as well.
It's not easy against any fighter to come forward and attack without making yourself a more available target. It's a particularly troublesome problem against somebody with the accuracy and precision of Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao's off to a slightly better start here in this round. Whether it's enough for him to win this round as it moves on, I don't know, but he has done better in this round than the previous one.
No. Let him up.
And this could be a round that Manny Pacquiao is stealing from
And some of that is just because of sheer energy.
Yes.
He's working harder.
Yep. And neither man doing much. 34 punches by, Pacquiao and less by Mayweather.
Mayweather don't have to do much. He's ahead. So
well,
for him,
but he can lose a round.
Yeah, but losing a round or two won't hurt him at this point because he knows how to come back and win the next round. So now he's doing a smart thing by making Pacquiao to take all the gamble.
Unless one or two judges have been swayed by the crowd noise and the excitement that is generated when Pacquiao lands to give him a round that, by our lights, he certainly didn't win. Here's the Mayweather family at ringside. He has 2 sons and 2 daughters. It appears that all of them are here tonight.
Floyd Mayweather, the staple of his attack is the right hand. And even though he's hit with the jab by Manny Pacquiao, still able to counter him with the right hand. And, that is the quintessential Floyd Mayweather attacking as a counterpuncher.
They have fought 10 rounds, and now we enter what are called the championship rounds. Total CompuBox numbers in round 10. Mayweather was 9 of 32. Pacquiao was 11 of 39. Not much to choose from as far as the numbers are concerned. Justin Bieber hasn't landed a punch tonight, but is certainly happy with what Floyd Mayweather's doing.
Yes. Well, if you're wondering, Floyd Mayweather's
hard right hand by Mayweather.
17-0 in 12-round fights, and Pacquiao's 11-2-1. And Floyd Mayweather started at this round like he wants to make sure it's 18-0.
Like he tried to get Pacquiao out of here.
Exactly. Starting to look like he wants a knockout.
Yeah,
Roy.
it is. And I thought that from the beginning. But it's looking like he's really looking for it now.
What about the size differential, Al?
Yeah, I think it's becoming obvious. You know, we said it going in. Mayweather's a true welterweight. And Manny Pacquiao is a smallish welterweight who might better be served at 140. Remember, as you know, Freddie Roach was talking about him going down there.
Manny Pacquiao entered the ring tonight unofficially at 152 pounds. Our memory tells us it's the heaviest weight at which Pacquiao's ever entered the ring. He didn't get off to his fastest start in the first couple of rounds as he had hoped for.
Yeah.
Is there a linkage? Maybe. Body shot by Pacquiao. Mayweather, who came out looking for a hard shot, maybe a knockout or a knockdown in the early moments of the round, now back into his comfortable envelope, fighting behind his jab, being safe.
The biggest issue is, as we see Harold's unofficial scorecard, with Mayweather, you know, moving ahead, and on Steve Farhood's as well. As we look at this, it's the footwork of Manny Pacquiao that's the big issue. He's attacking, as Roy said earlier, in a straight line. No foot movement from him to try and attack at angles.
And that's allowing Floyd to slip out to the left with the left hook or slide to the right anytime he gets ready.
I don't care who you are. Unless you're 12, 15, 20 pounds bigger, you're not going to beat Floyd Mayweather attacking on a straight line.
No, you're not. And now we're seeing what I meant when I said that Floyd had the advantage in speed. His hands seem to be almost 10 miles per hour quicker than Manny Pacquiao's. Manny Pacquiao's a quicker guy with the motion, but as far as the speed, which means how much time it takes to get from point A to point B, we see Floyd is far more quicker than Manny Pacquiao. I mean, faster than Manny Pacquiao.
Gets him into the corner. Starts one of those flurries. Didn't land anything significant.
And got caught going out twice.
Mayweather with a little grin on his face as he hunts Manny Pacquiao with right-hand counter shots. Lands a left hook upstairs. And another check hook.
And that was because Pacquiao lunged in with the right hand, which he's done repeatedly in this fight.
And now Floyd is very comfortable in this game. He knows he has Manny Pacquiao where he wants him. So now he's very relaxed and he can do anything he wants to do because he has that distance and he has the control of the distance.
That was one of the most aggressive moments you'll ever see from Mayweather as he chased Pacquiao across the ring and lunged at him with a long right hand. He believes that he has Manny beaten.
I think you're right. Mayweather coming forward, no less, using the jab as a not more than a rangefinder because it landed to land that right hand on the side of the head of Manny Pacquiao. And in that round, as Jim noted, we saw offense from Mayweather as he felt secure enough to come forward. And the defense is always there, even against the ropes. He wheels off those ropes as he's been doing all night.
Attack, combinations, okay? Okay. All right. He's going down, you go with the uppercut, okay?
Last round, last round.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, you.
Happy box numbers for power shots in round 11. Mayweather was 11 of 21. Pacquiao also threw 21, landed only 6. Now it would appear that Manny Pacquiao is far enough behind on the scorecards that his only chance is to sell out and try for a knockout. And Al Bernstein, let's start to speculate just for a moment on Mayweather's future. Because if he wins this fight, that's win number 48 to get him to 48-0. One more fight on the well-publicized Showtime contract. He says, I'll win that fight and I'll retire at 49-0. 49-0 equals Rocky Marciano's hallowed mark, which is one of the most revered records in American boxing, even in global boxing. Do you really believe that Floyd Mayweather would walk away from the chance to go 50-0?
Well, he was very definitive in telling us that at the meeting. Whether that in fact is the case is up for great debate. He wants to close out this round and get to that point. And, of course, our view is unofficial that he's going to win this fight, but clearly it appears that he's well ahead.
And if anybody can walk away, Jim, and do that, as long as he was patient and able to hold out, making this fight happen as bad as fans wanted to see it, I think anything Floyd Mayweather sets in his mind that he wants to do, he can do. Because that took a lot of patience for him to hold off 5 years, a little bit over 5 years, to finally give people the fight they wanted to see that he probably knew he could dominate all the time.
Well, a lot of people thought that there was a sell-by date, that public interest in the fight might wane because it took so long for the fight to be made. A lot of people in the last couple of years were disturbed at Mayweather because they felt that he was the obstacle to getting the fight made. If at the end of the day he was stretching it out to maximize the dollars, he was right.
Brilliant.
And at the end of the day, Manny Pacquiao didn't have the energy or the ability to adapt to make this the kind of fight he wanted to make it. He couldn't fight as he did against Margarito, a much slower opponent where he was attacking from all angles, throwing combinations. Just couldn't do that against Floyd Mayweather.
And the other thing I got to say is the thing that I was worried about was that by convincing Manny Pacquiao that Floyd was scared of him, I think that was a horrible mistake. They thought Floyd was not going to fight, was going to come in and run, and you make Manny Pacquiao think this is easy. So he came in not really as up on point like Floyd was, and he got a way different outcome than he expected.
Floyd Mayweather treated it as serious business all the way through training camp and all of this week. Manny Pacquiao smiled, laughed, celebrated the fact that he was here, but as it turns out, he came into the ring without the tactical ammunition to open up Mayweather's envelope in a way that no one ever has, and that's what he needed to do to win the fight. Mayweather toying with him now as we get to the last 10 seconds. And in Grand Rapids, Las Vegas, and everywhere where the Money team is revered, the celebration is probably beginning. Only a giant shock on the scorecards would prevent this from being a unanimous decision victory for Floyd Mayweather.
There were sporadic moments for Manny Pacquiao in a couple of rounds that I think you could, two, maybe three, that you can make a strong case for him to win. But to go beyond that it would seem difficult.
You could say that about both Marcos Maidana fights. You could say that about the Canelo fight. You could say that about any number of fights in Floyd Mayweather's career.
Right. Well, I thought the first Marcos Maidana fight a lot more than 3 rounds. I personally
that was close.
Yeah, but that and the Jose Luis Castillo fight years ago are the only fights that have been close.
And there's the grin again. Pacquiao's family looks stunned by what has taken place in the ring, or bemused. Jinky Pacquiao is always nervous about her husband's act in the ring.
We'll give it back to you.
The gloves come off for Mayweather. Tools of the trade.
The intriguing thing is that Floyd Mayweather Sr. was really admonishing him through a lot of this fight. And, of course, we're going to find out. You see the punches landed in each round, too.
Total punches landed, and Mayweather lands 67 more punches in the fight by CompuBox count than Pacquiao was able to land. Only in 1, 2, 3 rounds, 3 out of 12 rounds, was Pacquiao able to land in double figures. That was not the plan. No. The plan was to land a lot more than that.
And at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather threw 7 more punches than Manny Pacquiao. That's a telling stat.
A remarkable statement on his ability to control the flow of the fight.
And a very animated exchange between Floyd Mayweather and some fans that are not happy with him.
Well, the pre-fight hashtag battle, which we wound up showing you just before the fight began, with 67% of respondents across America picking Pacquiao. The obligatory embrace, no hard feelings. We made a lot of money, didn't we? Kelly Swanson, Mayweather's longtime publicist, gets the double kiss. Final CompuBox numbers. Mayweather landing 67 of 267 jabs. To the degree that there was a jabbing contest, Mayweather won it big. Pacquiao landing fewer than 10% of his jabs. Power punches, Mayweather close to 50%. 81 out of 168. Pacquiao getting a roar of approval from those members of the crowd who still love him and always will.
And no reason not to. He's had a storied and exciting career. even if tonight may not have gone the way he wanted.
A career marked by audacious risk and triumph that few people would have expected for him. Now Pacquiao's in the other corner, standing up, and Mayweather is continuing to jaw back and forth with some fans at ringside. Unofficially, Steve Farhood winds up at 118-110. Floyd Mayweather, and that's 10 rounds to 2, incidentally. And Harold Letterman has it 117-111, which is 9 rounds to 3. And now Jimmy Lennon and Michael Buffer are standing together at ringside. Let's find out the official scores in the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing here at the MGM Grand, we go to the scorecards.
Judge ringside, Dave Moretti scores about 118 to 110. Judges Bert Clements and Glenn Feldman both scored about the same, 116 to 112. All three in favor of the winner by unanimous decision. He is now the unified WBC, WBA, and WBO welterweight champion of the world, and still undefeated, Floyd Mani Mayweather.
Unforgettable build-up, exciting anticipation, a financial and emotional response like we've never seen, or seldom seen anyway, for a major prize fight. And at the end of the day, a story you've seen many times. Floyd Mayweather under control, Floyd Mayweather precise, Floyd Mayweather dictating the fight, Floyd Mayweather unanimous decision. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Jim Lampley. Floyd, congratulations on this victory. To hear the words "still undefeated," what does that mean?
First off, I want to thank God for this victory. I want to thank all the fans that came to Las Vegas. I want to thank all the fans around the world that supported this event. He's a hell of a fighter, and I take my hat off to Manny Pacquiao. I see where I see why he's one of the guys that's at the pinnacle in the sport of boxing.
Was this easier than you had anticipated?
I knew he was going to push me. I knew he was going to win some rounds. You know, he had moments in the fight, but, you know, I kept him on the outside. I was a smart fighter. I outboxed him. I wasn't getting hit with a lot of shots until I sat right there in the pocket. That's when he would land a lot of shots. And we did what we had to do tonight, and I'm truly blessed. Manny Pacquiao is blessed, and I want to thank all the fans that came out to support this event.
Why do you think you never figured out that left jab in your right hand?
You know, I can't really say. You know, I'm just, you know, a calculated fighter. You know, he's a tough competitor. But like I said before, you know, I got to take my hat off to my dad, because without my dad, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
And he was riding you. Why was he riding you so hard?
Because my dad wanted me to do more. But Manny Pacquiao's a tough competitor. You know, he's a very, very awkward fighter, so I had to take my time and watch him extremely close.
You said a couple of times to me and to others, you never wanted to win a fight so bad as you wanted to win this fight. Why? Because it was so long in coming?
You know, you say things sometimes, but all 48 fights, you know, all 47 fights before I got to this point played a major key.
But this one particularly, why?
Really not this one. All fights played a major key, you know. I wanted to win all fights extremely bad. Manny Pacquiao is a tough competitor. He's a true champion at heart, and we both was at our best tonight.
Was this worth the wait?
When the history books is written, it was worth the wait.
What's left for you?
I got one more fight, you know, with Showtime and CBS. You guys done a remarkable job. But I want to thank my sponsors, Hublot, the watch, one of the best watch companies in the world, and FanDuel.
Will you look beyond and try and break Rocky Marciano's record?
My last fight is in September. then it's time for me to hang it up. You know, I'm almost 40 years old now. I've been in the sport 19 years. I've been world champion 18 years, and I'm truly, truly thankful and I'm blessed.
Now, you've just been handed a check for somewhere between $100 and $200 million, and money's very important to you. Are you telling me you're going back to work in 6 weeks and going to fight in September?
Well, I got to take my hat off to my team. You know, just this week alone.
Take the question here, please, sir. Come on. Are you going to fight again this quick?
I'm fighting in September, yes.
All right. We look forward to it. Congratulations, Floyd.
Thank you. Showtime, Hublot, FanDuel. I love you guys. Thank you.
All right. Max Kellerman.
Manny, what's your impression of this fight?
Well, it's a good fight. I thought I won the fight.
You thought you won the fight? Why?
He didn't do nothing. He always, you know, move outside.
Well, but he had to be hitting you with something because you weren't attacking him with the same kind of ferocity that we sometimes see you attack. Was he not doing something to keep you off?
Yeah, I mean, I got him many times, solid punches, and I think I thought I won the fight.
We didn't ringside, the judges didn't. Right from the outset in the first round, he seemed to be able to get you to fight at his pace. You usually throw a lot of punches. You didn't throw as many punches right from the beginning. Why?
No, he's moving around. He's moving around. It's not easy to throw a lot of punches if your opponent moving around. But if he stay, then I can throw a lot of punches.
But you knew that coming in, so didn't you have to do something to get him to stay?
Yeah, I'm just cutting him in counter. You know, but that's fight. That's a fight.
He seemed to catch you with some good right hands early in the fight. Did you feel his power?
Yeah, I can handle his power. It's not strong like Margarito or other opponent Cotto like that.
So you're saying you thought you were up in the fight, and that's why maybe you didn't attack him. You didn't step up the pace even more in the 11th and 12th rounds.
Yes, but
Manny, because ringside, I thought I had him winning pretty wide. It seemed to me that his size was giving you some trouble. He's a bigger fighter than you. Was he able to use his size against you?
No, he's not bigger than me. It's not about the size. The size doesn't matter. I've been fighting bigger than him, and nothing problem.
Manny, what's next for you?
Well, take it easy, vacation, and Bob will take care of the rest.
Thanks as always, Manny. Jim?
So Manny Pacquiao suggests that he believes he won the fight, and of course all great competitors want to believe that they've done more than they may have actually done in a given circumstance. It wasn't a difficult fight to score. It was a clear Floyd Mayweather win by unanimous decision. At the end of the day, it's yet another indicator of the competitive greatness and the difficulty of beating this particular man.
I mean, he just showed you tonight why he's pound for pound one of the best offensive and defensive fighters to ever touch the planet, because he uses offense when it's necessary and just the amount that he needs. He uses defense when it's necessary and also just the amount that it takes to get the job done.
A replay of what we've seen from Floyd Mayweather a number of times, and it was a bravura performance.
And here are the scores from the three official judges. Both Bert Clements and Glenn Feldman finding 4 rounds to give to Manny Pacquiao. Our unofficial ringside scorers, Steve Farhood and Harold Letterman. Farhood gave 2 rounds to Pacquiao. Letterman gave him 3. Dave Moretti's score is identical to the score that Steve Farhood gave us, 118-110. I don't think even the most enthusiastic Manny Pacquiao fan could make much of an argument that he agrees with Manny that he actually won the fight.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, you can make all those scores in their own way are plausible, depending on how you look at certain rounds. But clearly, the thing we have to take away from this is that Mayweather boxed very effectively. And while he did move a lot, there were more than some moments when he was within punching range of Manny Pacquiao and was in the pockets for Pacquiao to hit.
Floyd Mayweather has 1 more fight left on his contract with your network. network, Showtime. Could you, under any circumstance, see that fight being a rematch with Manny Pacquiao?
I can't imagine based on what we saw here this evening. That's kind of hard for me. I think it would be it was hard for this fight to be made, that's for sure. And I don't know if the appetite would be there for it. But I think we've heard Mayweather say so many times that his final fight is in September that actually I'm starting to believe him. His final fight might be in September.
Any final comment, Roy?
No, man, I just want to say that, I thank God that the fans finally got what they wanted. It was a wonderful event, one of the biggest sporting events ever, and I just thank God that we were all a part of it. I thank you guys for working together with me as a team. I enjoyed the night working with you, Al, that we never get to do, and I had a wonderful time.
Ditto. I agree with everything that Roy said.
I agree.
So there goes Manny Pacquiao back to Congress in the Philippines and all the rest of the elements of his cinematic life. And here's Floyd Mayweather, who most likely is going to be headed to a pretty good party tonight. Let's go back upstairs to James Brown.
All right, back up here with Lennox Lewis and Paulie Malignaggi, and I'll get to them in just a second. I want to invite all of you to stay with us as we'll have more from here in Las Vegas in just a moment. Post-fight replays and reactions. Plus, we'll talk with the men who called the fight from ringside. That's all coming up straight ahead. Mayweather versus Pacquiao has been brought to you live from MGM Grand in Las Vegas by Showtime Pay-Per-View.